guys, welcome to Deep Codes, and in today's video we will discuss LeetCode question 25382 that says difference between maximum and minimum price sum. So here we are given one unrooted t with n nodes numbering from 0 to n minus 1 and we are given 2D integer array edges that represent the edge between two nodes a and b. Further, each node is assigned some price where price of I is the price of the ith node. The price sum is defined as the sum of prices of all the nodes lying in the path. Okay, and a tree can be rooted at any node root of your choice. The incurred cost after choosing a root is the difference between maximum and minimum price sum amongst all the paths starting from that root. So here we can choose any one node as a root. We will find the path with the maximum price and another path with the minimum price. We will find the difference, and that difference is known as cost here. The difference between maximum and minimum price sum. Price sum is a sum of the prices of the path, and we need to return the maximum possible cost amongst all the root choices. So here in this first example, it's not visible clearly. So yeah, I have pasted it here, the image. So if we take row node 2 as our root, then one of the longest possible path is from 2 to 1 to 3 to 4. So let me write here is longest, sorry, it won't be a longest, we would say maximum price sum. That path would be from 2 to 1 to 3 to 4, that is 7 plus 8 plus 6 plus 10, so it would be, I guess, 31. And the minimum price sum starting from 2 is 2. We won't go ahead because we need to find the minimum, and its cost is 7. So 31 minus 7, that is, I guess, 24, and this is our answer. So likewise, you can choose any other nodes, let's say node 1 or node 3 or node 5. Find the maximum price sum, the minimum price sum. See, one thing to note here is minimum price sum would be the node itself. Okay, because if you would include another node, then the price will increase, as the prices doesn't contain any negative integer. You can see a price is from 1 to 10 raised to 5. So guys, moving on to the intuition part here. So till now I hope you guys understood the question, that how we are calculating the price sum, how we are finding the total cost, and we need to maximize that cost. So one way to do this question is by using DFS traversal. So what you can do, you can take all the nodes from 0 to n minus 1 and apply DFS on all. So that way what you can do is you can get the maximum price sum from all the nodes, minimum price sum from all the nodes, subtract that and get the answer. But this would give TLE, as this DFS on all n nodes will be n square time complexity, will be a very costly operation, and this will give you TLE. So we have to think of some better approach, right? So before moving ahead, let me show you how you can proceed that. So as you can see here, what we did adjacent symmetrics. We formed one DFS, means for all the nodes from 0 to n minus 1, we called DFS function, and for all of that we checked for result, and this is the DFS code. This is, so here if you do like this, then this will surely give you TLE, as you can see here, with this big input. So what you can do this here, see, one thing for sure is you have to do DFS traversal, that is for sure. Can you do something like deepin? But how? See, I will show you one thing. I will take this graph only. Let me copy this. So let us draw the same graph. Let us draw any graph. Let me name is 3 2 5 1 8. Now suppose 0 is a root. Now maximum price path and minimum price path. See, it's simple. Minimum price path would be the node itself, and the maximum price path possible is from 0 to 2 to 3. 0 to 3. That will be 8 plus 2, 10 plus 5, 15. Let us take 1 as a node. So 1, 2, so maximum price path would be 1, 2, 0, and 5. That would cost 3 plus 2, 5, 10, 11. Instead, you can take 1, 2, and 3. 8, 9, 10 plus 3, 13. So 1, 2, 3, that will give us 13. And the minimum price node would be, the path would be itself 1 and its price is 3. Okay, similarly for 2, if you do, then the price would be, maximum price path would be, if you go from 2 to 3. So that's 2, 3, and it's 10, and 2 itself would give the minimum price path with a price 2. So similarly, you can calculate for 3 and 5 also. But one thing to note here is, see, this 2 and 3, once we have calculated, but we are again calculating them. We are again calculating this. So based on this, can you think of somehow if we can store this value, or you can memorize this thing? And yeah, it's correct. What we would do, we would do DFS plus DP, or we can say memorize the path between the current node and the child node. So node and the child, we would memorize this. So I hope you guys understood the intuition as well as what approach we would take to solve this question. So here what we would do, instead of taking adjacency matrix, we have to take something like 2D array, where U1 represent the node 1, U2 represent the node 2, and there is a edge between U1 and U2, and the answer represent the maximum path price. So maximum price path, you can say, and the answer. So this type of data structure we would use to store our answer. Okay, so now let's move on to the coding part, and let's see how can we code this type of solution. Okay, let me first define LL as long. I would take an ordered map of int LL adjacency of size n. Further, I would push all the edges into this adjacency map. ADJ of E of 0 and E of 1 equal to 0. Initially, I push the cost with a value 0. Now let me initialize one result variable to 0. I equal to 0, I is less than n, I plus plus. So looping from 0 to n minus 1 nodes, we would call a DFS function, and we would store the answer in the current. DFS of ADJ adjacency price, and the current node, let's say I is the current node, and let's us take minus 1 as its parent. And what we would do, we would update the result as maximum of result comma current minus price of I. So because the shortest path would be the node itself, so shortest price path, so that's why we don't have to calculate the shortest or the minimum price path. And here we would code DFS function, where we would first take this map, we would take the price vector, we would take the node and the parent node. So here we will also initialize one answer, or let me take a max path variable to 0. Now for all the child of the current node, so node is a current node adjacent to node, and if this child is not, child dot first is not equal to parent. So if you want to understand this condition, is let me show you. So let's say you have chosen for For this graph, you are choosing root 1, node 1 as a root, and you are traversing to 2. Now the adjacent nodes of 2 are 0, 3, and 1 itself. But you won't traverse to 1, right? Because where you have started to traverse to. So if it is a adjacent node, if it is a parent node, then we won't traverse. Okay. Yeah. Now we would take one temporary variable. We would check for the current answer node first, and if temp equals to 0, that means we haven't yet calculated for this edge from node to child. We haven't calculated because it is still 0. In that situation, what we would do, we would call the DFS function and do recursion. Price, the node is child dot first and the parent is the node itself, and we would update this value to temp. Okay, and then we would do, we would simply update the maximum path comma temp, and in the end we would return maximum path plus price of I, that is a node, that is the current price. So this is the basic DFS function. We just stored the answer, and each node will return the price. So let's say if you're traversing from for example, let's say if you are at node 0, its adjacent is node is 2. Now 2's adjacent is 3. Now there is no adjacent node to 3. So what 3 will return? 3 will return 8. Here 8 and 2's price is 2. So 8 plus 2. This answer will be returned to 0. Now 8 plus 2, that is 10, plus 5, 15. So this DFS function will the end will return this 15 here to the current. So this is how this DFS function will work. Now let us try to run the code. Let us try to submit this. And yeah, our code got accepted. So as you guys can see here, we didn't do any much thing. We just memorized the DFS function, and that's how our code got work. So guys, that's all for this video. So guys, now talking about the time complexity, since we are using DFS, we can say the time complexity of this solution is big O of n, and the space complexity would be big O of n square, as we are storing the both n, that means the current node as well as the adjacent node. So it would be n square, because this is the list. In the list we are use a list of map. So that's why we can say the space complexity is big O of n square here. So that's all for this video. I hope you guys like the video, and if you have still any doubts, then let me know in the comment section. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video. Thank you.